and other places, that, you know, we all can say every time we go to the grocery store, there's more packaging. And it seems to grow and grow and grow. And I hate to pick on Mr. Print Pack, but that laminated packaging is truly frustrating and depressing. And, you know, I'm just wondering if we all can get a little bit more out there. What I have taken to is just to simply bring that stuff back to the grocery store that can't be recycled, with the hopes to grocery stores like Safeway or some of the big chains have enough clout to start demanding less packaging and better packaging.
So what, was there a question? I mean, I'm not being sarcastic.
Well, maybe I just want to share the frustration of many of us who really care about this, that if, you know, the fact that our snack food can be kept safe for 10 years may not be the real priority right now. And if you have that ability to create that kind of packaging, couldn't you redirect that toward more environmentally friendly packaging?
Yeah, okay, great question. So sadly, I mismanaged my presentation and ran out of time to talk about what we're doing. So I do think, so I talked about how to recycle. We're going deep there, right? So I talked about all the recycling, the different formats. It is up to, though, a brand to say, I want my package to be recycled. The converter does not determine, we don't go to anybody and say, you're going to buy this package. That's not how the world works, right? It's the pull economy. So, fundamentally, Albertsons could say, just like Walmart said, just like Target said, all of our stuff's going to have the how to recycle label on it. And some do it even if it's not recyclable. Now, when they do that, the consumer knows, whoa, wait a minute, why isn't this recyclable? And then they'll go back and they'll say, I want you to do something about this. I have something to design to, right? I got the store drop stream. I can design to it. That's great. The packaging is available for a lot of these products, not for all. So the second piece of that is, what about the products that polyethylene is not a polymer for? And that's where groups like Materials Recovery for the Future, which we didn't talk about at all today, it's a whole nother group that we are a member of that is talking about how to recycle those materials that are not store droppable in your bin. How can you recycle that? And that is a whole day probably to go through what that group's doing. Now, taking you back to the store, I can tell by the look on your face you're not going to change your behavior about what I'm going to tell you, but they're just going to throw it out. Or worse, if they put it in with the polyethylene stuff, they contaminate it. So be careful about where you put it in the store. That's all I'm saying.
No,
you don't want to create a different product. It's the unintended consequence,
right?
right?
You know, I already figured that out, so you don't have to worry about that. It's making a statement that I don't want to have to deal with it, and if the store takes it upon itself, let them deal with it. I haven't got the nerve to put it in the trash.
Yeah. Now the consumer is where that's what gets things done, right?
And not to distract from your strategy there either, but the other thing I would say is some of that stuff that you're taking might actually be eligible for the RAP program if the RAP program was actually in place and had the how to recycle label on it, directing you to retailers. So I would encourage you to try to get the retailer to also join into that program where it is taking back RAPs.
The laminated can't go anywhere. The laminated.
You got to be careful with laminated.
I'm talking about the laminated that is
Yeah.
that is on everything now, and it can't be recycled anyplace.
Okay, over here.
So what about these new bag chips? Sorry, these new bag chips that are advertising that they're recyclable, and it's this certain program. And I looked it up, and you can send the bags to a company, and they say they recycle them, and you get points, and you can have stores do that locally. Yes, yeah.
So the TerraCycle program works well for things that aren't recyclable in the main municipal stream, and certain brands pay a lot of money in order to support those programs so that consumers or schools can send them back. My perspective is that that's good, but we have so many really good materials that are recyclable that we're not getting back, that if we could focus on those things that are really good, our aluminum cans, our PET bottles, our high-density polyethylene laundry detergent jugs, and make sure we get all of that first, that's where I think we can make the biggest impact.
I have a question for all three of you, but perhaps in particular David. So I'm wondering about your thoughts on lifestyle approaches, so like corporate product stewardship, also what Sego mentioned, the producer financing as mechanisms to sort of have better design, and as well as, you know, more funding to sort of improve processes. You know, what prompted this was, you know, in the presentation you were talking about a temple, I think, and how there was garbage everywhere, but, you know, like I feel like in developing markets, especially where products are exported, you know, the places are not usually fully equipped, right? They haven't built up the same kind of collection and sorting and all of those things, right, to deal with products, newer products that come with various kinds of packaging that are not historically there in place. So I wanted to hear your thoughts again on life cycle approaches and financing and corporate stewardship responsibility. Thank you.
Yeah, that question hits on the core of a lot of issues, right? So extended producer responsibility, or however you want to word it, I think there's two different, you have to separate a developing economy, as you did with a developed economy like us. So I think the mechanism for how it could and would work here in the U.S. is very different. I would say this about my experience, and that is it's one of the problems China has right now today, their economy, as it's slowing down, is people, i.e. companies that are going to go start up a wholly owned foreign enterprise or whatever, state-owned. China has to invest in the infrastructure that people are not willing to pay for. So what I mean by that, very specifically, is if I'm a business owner, I want to go start something up in China, I go to the place, I say, hey, do you have power? Do you have all other utilities? Do you have roads? What's your logistics? I do not say currently today, necessarily, maybe somebody does, but for the most part, I don't say, and how's your garbage collection? And what are you doing with that garbage collection? And I want to go do a tour. I get your power plant, but I want to go do a tour of your MRF or your PERF. It wasn't done from 1987 till now, and that's the issue. And nobody's willing to pay for that in China. Just like a lot of other infrastructure problems in China right now, the roads are built, right? The big roads are built, the railroads are built, we can get energy. It's that next 2-3 down levels of investment that, are companies really willing to pay for that, or should I just move to somewhere else, and, you know, as the labor? So that's a different issue, I think, than the U.S. I think in the end, the consumer's going to pay for it. Right? So if Seattle charges a tax or whatever, however you want to fund it to a company on certain goods, I mean, in the end, the consumer's got to pay the tax, right? I mean, the companies are not going to not make money. I don't. So I'll give you an example of something that I think works very well, and that is when you make me as a consumer, because it's my behavior you want to change, when you make me pay for trash collection directly. So I used to live in Indiana, that was in my bio, right? Indiana and Bloomington, you have to buy every trash bag and tag every trash bag. And that funds the recycling. And they will leave that garden hose that I shouldn't have put in the recycling. They will leave it right there. They won't pick it up. They won't pick up the stuff that's not recyclable. I have to go buy a trash bag and put it in my trash bag. So So now I have an incentive as a consumer to sort. So unless you start talking about changing all kinds of behaviors, you're going to have issues.
Just when it was getting good, our time was up. So, yeah. Well, but I've been given time that we're done. So, we have 1 minute? Do you have a 1 minute question?
Yes.
Okay.
Are our little name tag things, if we take a paper out and recycle it?
They're reusable. Yeah. So those will be collected for reuse back there where Hannah is. All right. So Dominic. Oh. Okay. Okay. And a word from EPA.
It's not even a
Where is
question.
Cindy?
We'll just end on a positive note. So feedback about the straw program from a consumer. I took my friend's 4-year-old son to Sept Field on Saturday. And on the ride there, he said, Dominic, I don't want to drink anything at the baseball game today. And I said, why not? And he said, well, last time we went, my straw got soft and it got squished and I couldn't drink my soda. So I said, well, how about if we get 2 straws, and then if your straw gets squished, then you can use the other straw. And he was totally fine with that. So not everybody loves it, but people are willing to
Now,
adapt.
how is that a positive note?
It's positive. It's positive.